called You Came, one of the songs which has most airplay at the moment, currently at the radio station.
Yeah.
And it's a song you composed. So by that, could you tell us the story behind? I mean, was it a melody coming into your mind suddenly, or?
Well, You Came, I wrote with my brother Ricky, and I wrote the text and he wrote the music, and the music came first. It was one of the last songs that we wrote for the album, and Rick just came in with an idea for melody and a backing track for the song, and I just thought it sounded great, and we worked on it together, and I came up with a text, and then we had a song.
So maybe was it something you were standing in the bathroom brushing your teeth and there was a song coming to your mind, or?
I don't know. I mean, with Ricky, I know he works. We have our own recording studio, and he works a lot on his Fairlight with a keyboard and stuff to get melody ideas and stuff. And I do pretty much the same thing. In this instance, it was a matter of him walking in with the melody, and I just put the text to it. So I didn't actually come up with this melody myself. I'd like to have done it.
So you've also written the lyrics for that, and one time in an interview with me you said you only sing lyrics you have wie sagt man, erlebt, was ist erlebt? Also you write lyrics, or you sing lyrics you have done, or it's an experience out of your life, in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So You Came, is this a love song, any love song, or a love song you have?
No, You Came actually was written about Ricky's son. Ricky had a son about 2 years ago, and we wrote it, well, I wrote it about him coming into all of our lives, you know, and so it's nothing to do with sort of man and a woman sort of love affair type stereotype subject. It's actually about a real situation. It's about a child, really. But the great thing about You Came, I think, is that it's such a kind of universal subject. You know, people come in and out of each other's lives all the time, and you know, one day you don't see this person, the next day they're in your life, and they're totally changing the way you're looking at it, and changing the way you're seeing things, and changing what you do, and you know, enriching your life. And I think that's why people really relate to this song, because, you know, people are all the same. You know, they have people coming in and out of their lives too. And this particular song was written specifically about a child coming into our lives, but, you know, that's the beauty of the song, I think, that, you know, it could extend to anyone, really.
Did you guess that this song becomes such successful as it becomes?
No, I mean, these things always come out of the blue. They really do. It's like when Hanging On did really well, because when we cut and recorded You Keep Me Hanging On, it was the last song on the last album that we recorded, and we just did it as a good idea. We didn't really think much that it would end up being a huge smash hit all over the world. And You Came is the same thing. It was the last song on the album, and the last thing we expected was that it was going to be so successful.
One of the most fascinating things on Kim Wilde is you have a hit every 2 years, so there's 2 years left and then there happens a hit. In the meanwhile...
That's not quite right. I think it's a slightly shorter time span than that. I mean, I've been making records for about 8 years now, and you know, I've had about 16 records out, in fact. Which makes for more than one hit a year, and there have been more than one hit a year. I don't know about in Austria, but certainly in the UK and Germany and other countries.
Out from you is a hit in Austria?
To varying degrees. You know, it depends what you call a hit. I mean, I would agree with you that I have a big hit probably every 1 or 2 years, maybe. But most records that I release do well to varying degrees, you know.
Have you ever been afraid to don't make it anymore?
Well, sometimes I think about, you know, not being famous anymore, and I find that quite appealing sometimes, you know. I've been famous for about 8 years now, and sometimes I find it quite appealing to do something else, you know, not so much something totally different, but definitely to concentrate on my songwriting and to become more involved on the production side of music, you know, to get back to music more. But in fact, doing this Michael Jackson tour has like totally reversed that whole kind of response to being in the business, because I just love touring so much and I love entertaining so much, and it's kind of revived my enthusiasm for going out and playing live. So I'm hooked again now. I was just getting into the idea of like sort of gradually fading out of the limelight, and then suddenly I get put back in it again, you know. I don't know, it's addictive, really, this business. But I've been very fortunate that I'm still around, you know.
As I said just before, you're singing since 8 years, so are you in the lucky situation that you can sing what you want, or do you have to pay attention to the charts?
Well, luckily I'm still a real big pop fan, you know, and I still buy a lot of pop music. I'm still motivated by pop music. I still like listening to the radio, so I don't really have a problem with, you know, the commercial aspect of being in the music business. I really enjoy it still, you know. I suppose the day I stop enjoying pop music, then I would hope that I would stop making it myself. But I suppose I'm still a kid at heart, you know. I still feel the same way about pop music now as I did when I was a very young child, you know. I don't think that'll ever go. I know it hasn't gone for my dad, you know. My dad's been in the business a hell of a lot longer than I have, and he's still really very motivated by pop music. So I think once you get the bug for it, it never really leaves you.
Mm-hmm. About enjoying pop music, what happens to you when you turn on the radio and you hear all that Kylie Minogue and Mandy Smith stuff, for example?
Well, you know, some of them aren't making very good records, and some people are. You know, I mean, same as ever. You know, I don't think necessarily that standards have come to an all-time low at this point in time. You know, there's always good stuff to be heard in the charts, and if you turn on the radio and listen to something you don't like, then pretty soon after that you hear something you do like, you know. Mm-hmm. So I keep my ears open, and there's normally something that I find entertaining about somebody. If I don't like their voice, then I could quite enjoy their performance, and if I don't like that, then, you know, there's all kinds of things. I mean, being in the public eye, I know that, you know, there's all kinds of ways that you can sort of entertain people, not just by your music or singing even, you know. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I mean, I suppose someone must find this entertaining, listening to me yakking on. Can't think who, but it's all part of it, you know. There's many aspects of being in the music business, I suppose.
Could it ever be that Kim Wilde comes into a situation where she won't do any interviews, for example, any press things, like Michael Jackson does at the moment, for example?
It's a tempting idea sometimes, you know, after you've done like a lot of stuff, you know, over a period of a few months, you do tend to like think, oh, I never want to do another interview again. But to me, I think the key to like, well, I think one of the keys to my success has been that I've been quite accessible to the public, you know, and I've never like sort of turned my back on my fans or people who want to get to know me. And it's not in my nature to do that, really. With Michael, I'm not saying that's what Michael does. I think he has his own reasons, and I respect those, you know. But for me, I think that it would be something that would be a sad thing to happen if I should suddenly become an enigmatic, unapproachable sort of person, because I'm not an enigmatic, unapproachable person in real life. And I think gradually through my career, I've wanted to try and extend my personality more into my work and the way that people perceive me, because I don't want to be some kind of image that kids see and can't respond to at a sort of human level. Mm. So, you know, I don't think I'd ever stop doing interviews because of that reason.
Congratulations to that. So something your fans must be very interested, I think. There was an opinion poll in Austria with the question, the dream job of young girls, and most of them answered they want to become a singer one day. Mm. What do you think about this? Is that something desirable? Or?
Well, I can't turn around and say it's not desirable, because I've had a fantastic career, but you know, it's had its ups and downs, and I've been terribly fortunate with the people that I have working around me, you know, my family primarily, and people very close to me, and you know, there are a lot of reasons why I'm still sitting here, and I know I'm not the only one. So I think singing, yes, it's great, and making it a career can be, well, it can be a little bit dangerous, you know. If you've got the right people around you, if you've got a good team, then maybe you'll be onto a good thing. I don't know. It's a very hard question to answer because I'm sure my dad felt the same way about me when I went into the business, and he probably thought, oh, it's fraught with danger. You know, she may have successful one year.
What means dangerous?
Oh, you know, like you get to love something and then maybe you can't do it anymore. I mean, maybe people just stop buying your records, or maybe your record company drop you, or you don't have any success, or you don't find that elusive hit record, you know. And I've been incredibly fortunate in all those areas, you know, uncannily so. And it's not been easy at all. It's really very tough, and to keep it all together. So I don't know what I'd say to someone who wanted to get into it.
But you personally are successful since 8 years. Have you ever been? Have you ever had any identity problems? Maybe arrogance or delusions? So we have to change the tape.
Coffee. White, please.
Was ist die Folge, man? Also, ja. There were the kids in front of the disco, and we were in there, and then they come in 2,000 people, and we had to go out. You don't remember that?
God, not off the top of my head. Who else was on the show?
Nobody else. Only you.
Just me. Right.
Ja.
Na, jetzt machen wir ein paar große. Ihnen das einmal so. Ja. Bei der nächsten. Ja. Bleiben noch so, wie Sie die nächste nehmen. So, und jetzt machen wir mal Zufall. Ne?
Okay. So, und jetzt machen wir Annalena. Ne? Okay, could you show us one LP then in front of the camera after you have written that? What will be the next hit single?
Never Trust a Stranger.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next single, which will be out, what, in a few weeks' time?
You Came was, for me personally, the one hit. It was exactly that from the LP, not Mr. Hardhating. Thank you very much, Kim. Yeah, it's Womack and Womack. She's really good. Kannst du aber normal unterhalten, das ist schon. No.
That's Womack and Womack, yeah?
Right.
I like that one, that's brilliant. I think that's good. I like it because it doesn't sound like any other record in the charts at the moment. It's sort of very sort of sparse production, and it's very simple production, and it's got a really great groove to it, and it's really sort of, I like it because it's very different to what, you know, any other sort of sound in the charts that I've heard for a long time. Very simple and minimal and funky.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. That's really good.
It's the highest climber at the moment in the British charts.
Yeah, it's doing very well. Yeah, I like it. It's really cool. Next
Okay.
one.
Mm-hmm. Ja, man früher machen und nachher ist auch scheißegal. Well done.
So, we can,
Okay. So, by the way, Michael Jackson, how often have you seen his show?
Quite a few times. I know I know pretty much every break, every snare, every stop, every pause, every yes, I know it quite well, really, like the back of my hand.
So it's, when you see this show so often, is there something new for you, or is it fascinating anymore?
Yeah, it is. It's always fascinating watching him, you know, because he's a very mysterious person and a great performer. You know, and that all, I mean, being a mysterious person off stage adds to the kind of vibe on stage. You know, you're sort of looking at a complete mystical person, really. Oh, I think he's brilliant, really. We're very lucky to have him, you know, dancing around for us, making great records. You know, very few of those great performers around.
This was about how often you've seen the show. How often have you heard the question about Michael Jackson and so on from journalists?
Oh, I've been asked constantly about him on the whole of the tour, you know. But you know, I'm really no more in a position to answer most of the questions than you are.
All right. So Michael Jackson is one of a living fantasy. So you are on tour. Is he such a mysterious person? The papers tell us.
Well, it's hard to say. You know, I met him very briefly in Munich, and
one time.
At one time, yeah.
During the tour, only one time.
And he keeps himself very private. You know, he's a very private sort of person. So as I said before, you know, I'm not really in a position to say. I don't know. I think he's, you know, I don't know. I mean, I like him personally. I hear nice things about him from people on his entourage and his crew, and they've got nothing but good things to say about him. So, you know, and you get a nice vibe from him as well. He's very gentle, isn't he? He's a very nice person, very gentle person. I think he's probably very sensitive, you know, and I know a little bit about that.
Is it a big honor to be an act in front of Michael Jackson?
Well, of course it is, yeah. It's fantastic, and not only that, we were sort of asked to do like a certain section of the tour, and then, you know, as things progressed and we got on really well with everybody, and then they asked us to do all the tour with them, and you know, you feel very, yeah, you do feel kind of honoured is the word, special. Yeah, I mean, it's...
I mean, you are also a big pop star, and I think I can't imagine to work in the shadow of him, to do a show in the shadow of his. Does it mind to you?
Well, it doesn't seem to have affected me at all. Either I'm really dumb or I'm really, really clever. I haven't quite worked that one out yet. But I mean, all the tour I felt very comfortable about being on it.
Really?
And I'm usually very sensitive about situations that are wrong. And if I'm in any situation that I feel is like, then I go. So I don't hang around much if I think something's not right. So, and I'm still here, you know, having a good time and going down very nicely. And the European audience and the UK audience have been fantastic. So, you know, I think we made the right decision there. I think Michael made the right decision there.
The right decision. If I would be your manager, I would ask you to make a book about the secrets behind Michael Jackson. We would earn much money together. Would you do that?
Well, I don't think so. No, writing books isn't really what I'm going to do. I don't ever intend to write an autobiography or anything like that, because I don't know, you know, having lived through all my life, I don't think I'd get a bit bored having to write it all down again. And then I got on another tour coach, and then I did another interview, and then I did another TV, and I'm certainly not going to tell you any juicy bits. So that's the end of the story. I mean, I can't write the book, can I? I'm not going to tell you any secrets.
Has it helped in your career?
Pardon?
Has it helped your career?
What's that?
To tour with Michael Jackson.
I think so, definitely. Because I've managed to sort of come across to a lot of people who wouldn't normally go out to listen to me or buy me. And I know, for instance, on one gig I played to the total sum of a Kim Wilde tour just in one gig. And you know, you're sort of reaching an incredible amount of people. It's not to say that they're all going to love me and sort of think I'm good, you know, but we're doing a good show, you know, I'm really doing the best I can, and we've noticed that, you know, the feedback has been phenomenal, and you know, going out and proving to people that I can actually stand up on a stage in front of 80, 90,000 people and entertain them and enjoy it and sing. And so I think, you know, I've maybe changed a lot of people's minds as to what Kim Wilde was all about, you know. Maybe.
It's lots of practice. Kim, last question about Michael Jackson. Do you know where he is at?
No, I don't know where he is. And I'm not going to tell you even if I did know.
Why?
Because, you know, everyone else would be there. No, I don't know where he is or where he stays. I know sometimes we stay at the same hotels and things, but why? Why do you want to know?
Where he is at the moment.
Why do you want to know? What, so you took your crew there? Hey, Michael!
No, it's only a joke. But last question about that. Does it mind that Michael Jackson speaks only left things with you, and what to say? Michael Jackson is so in his private atmosphere, and he never speaks to you, and so on.
But it's not just that he doesn't speak to me. He doesn't really speak to anybody, you know. And I mean, I can't take that personally, especially from a man who's asked me to remain on the rest of his tour. So I mean, he can't dislike me that much, you know.
There are rumors, is this right, that Taylor Bain does the tour with him afterwards?
No, not afterwards. I'm finishing the tour and then they go back to America.
You too?
Well, I don't know. No, I don't think so. Maybe. I'm going to America to do some promotion for UK. But they don't actually have tour support in America. They only have tour support in Europe.
You've brought your family with on tour. What's the reason for? I mean, the complete family.
Well, my little brother who's 7 and Marty, and my little sister who's 9 called Roxanne. And I mean, really, I mean, I'm in an incredible situation here, you know, touring with Michael and touring myself, and they're on holiday, and I think it's very important that they're a part of my life, you know. They don't feel separated from it, and I try and involve all my family and my friends too in my life, you know. I don't sort of tend to put them in different categories, you know. I wouldn't like to do that. So I like having as many people who are close to me as possible.
And do they watch each show of you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. They're very nice, you know. They've met Michael as well, the children, and they go and see him on the side of the stage, and Roxanne went on stage with him one night, actually. And I don't know, it's a nice vibe. I mean, the Jackson crew are great, the band are great, and having my family around is another lovely thing too. You know, it's been a fantastic tour all round, you know. It's been really sort of relaxed and fun.
You've brought your family with also your boyfriend?
Pardon?
You've brought your family with also your boyfriend?
And my boyfriend?
Yeah.
Next question? Oh, yeah, a few here and there, you know. No one sort of. Well, I'm not going to say actually. I'm going to be discreet about that. That's why I'd never write a book. You know, it'd be nothing to say.
Now, isn't it very complicated for a pop star like you, for a beautiful girl and very rich girl and famous too? Let's finish. To find love or something?
To find love. I think it's very difficult for everyone really to find true love, you know, really sort of true love. It's no less easy for me, no more difficult.
Okay, Kim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your cooperation.
That's my pleasure. See you tonight at the gig.
Yeah, only maybe one jingle in this microphone, maybe hide it.